Hello, testing out the live stream functionality now. And now the microphone should be on. Okay, and I think we should be ready to go. So yeah, I'll start by just getting to work, and if you got any questions, just sort of type it in the chat, and yeah, we'll have a go at this, and we'll see how this kind of works. Alright. So let me start off by okay. Alright, so here's the idea. So I want to make a VIM plugin, and what I want it to do, or it doesn't have to be a plugin, but I want to make a system for VIM whereby maybe in which I can take notes. So that's the objective, right? So my objective is to have some sort of note-taking system, and I don't know if anyone here has used Notion before. And basically Notion is this tool. Let me pull this up. Alright. That's definitely not the right window. There we go. So Notion is this kind of tool, right? Where you have all of your stuff, you put all your notes there, and it's nested in this kind of tree, right? And how that kind of works is, like, you can see you have one note, and then that note might have subnotes, and you can put notes inside of that. And I want something that kind of mimics this sort of approach of note-taking. So yeah, I think I'm going to use this time today mostly to plan. I might get a little bit of work done, but I think this is going to be planning. Alright. So I'm going to make a system for VIM in which I can take notes. So maybe, let's say, like, at the moment I'm thinking of how am I gonna lay this out, like how is this gonna work in the first place. So maybe some of the options, it's good to list the options, and then I can sort of choose between these. So yeah, we can make a VIM plugin, or we can make an external program, or so a VIM plugin or an external program. I think that should be enough. So either, yeah, so what I want this to do, okay, let me sort of just kind of lay this out, right, before I get too ahead of myself. So, needs to be able to create, read, create, edit, and search for notes. Right, that's what I want this system to be. Right, so if I can't create or, you know, search for notes in a way that's really efficient, right, it's just going to be, you know, a big pain, right? So because, like, yeah. Okay. So I do want to make this a VIM plugin, right? So will be a VIM plugin, and that can, you know, create a note in some sort of hierarchy, easily find or easily search for notes in the hierarchy, and be able to quickly edit any note from the search result. Right, so this is kind of the essence of what I want to be doing today. Alright, so let's see. So I guess what I have to do is first design a hierarchy, right? Or, you know, we'll make a design here and now. So I want some sort of structure, right, where there are notes and sub notes. So I think it'll be similar to a file tree, right, and that will implicitly give us the ability to have notes and subnodes, I think. I'm still trying to work this out. So let me think for a second. So I don't want to have to put a lot of work into it, right? I want something that's basically just a combination of tools. Like if this came with Vim, I wouldn't be working with this by default. I'd be working with the default Vim thing, I meant to say. So I need some sort of way, right? Ideally from within Vim. I think maybe like you'd want to have like a make note command, right? And then it would pull up, you know, maybe some fuzzy finding menu of all the of all the categories, and you'd search through that and make a note that way. Or So yeah, another thing I forgot to mention is want the notes to be in markdown format. Right. So I want to be able to edit markdown notes. I want to be more productive in Vim. That's sort of the goal of this. And yeah, I want to be able to edit it in the markdown format, right, which is kind of the same thing as what we got here. In fact, I might just convert that right now. Design, that might be so similar to a file tree with notes and subnotes, and yeah, multimedia, images, videos, etc. And I'll put here only not a required feature, right? Because I'm not too worried about having images or whatever in the notes. I just want a good, efficient note-taking system for Vim, which can be hard to do by default. And yeah, I think this, if I could make a plugin that does it in an efficient way, that would be really nice. So yeah. Alright, so I want notes and subnotes and to be able to include multimedia, but that's not 100% required at this point in time. Alright, I just want an easy way to take notes in Vim that actually organizes them, right? Because you might be able to do this manually. Right, say if I just write this into design and I'm gonna make a directory and call it notes, and move design into notes and go into notes. Right, there we go, design is there. And maybe you'll have a few sort of categories which you'll make in directories. So you might have general, study, work, something like that, right? And inside general, you might have I don't know, like fitness goals, right? And then here are my notes for fitness. You might have something like that. Alright, but I want something a little bit more efficient in this sort of regard. Alright, so I want something that will do that, but automate it, right? Because once it's automated, it's going to be a lot easier to work through your file tree and open stuff really quickly, right? Because you'll see once I'm in Vim, I can edit text really quick and sort of search, but once you're out of Vim and looking for stuff and searching and grepping and all that stuff, it's a real pain. So I want some sort of way to automate that. Maybe an easier way of doing this would just, instead of having subnodes like you do in Notion, right? So instead of having subnodes, maybe say I had a goals file, and I'll have a fitness thing, right? Or no, that's not a good example. Well, the way Notion works is like every directory, or directory in our sense, is an actual note in itself. So if I had this structure going on, you might have like a touch. Well, first of all, you get rid of everything, right? And then you have touch, maybe index to markdown, and then you can, your sub folders, or really sub notes, right? It's like that sort of format. But that's not exactly what I want. Maybe it'll be easier just to give an interface on this sort of thing. But yeah, I'm not too sure how we're going to get this to work. So I'll get rid of this because I don't want that yet. And go into design. And I want to start with the documentations. So it's just help to get into the documentation. And I think the hardest feature, and the feature we should probably tackle most, is searching, right? Because creating should be trivial. It's literally just like E and then the name of the file. But searching, not so much. So yeah, I want a way, so maybe like a search command like that, or search notes, and then maybe it'll bring up an incremental search, so we can like search it and it'll show us results one character at a time. And yeah, I don't know, I'll have a look into it though. So let's do that right now. Okay, so help, ink search maybe might be a good place to start. So ink search, yeah, no, it doesn't. VIM grep, that sounds useful. Search for pattern in the file. What's the error list? Oh, this is perfect. This is actually exactly what I wanted. Wow, this stream might not take very long. Okay, so this search for the pattern in the files. Okay, so I think I understand what this is talking about. So say we have alright, so I think we can use find, right? We can use the external command and read that into a variable in VIM, and then we can pass it to that, or if it has some sort of wildcard feature that we can use. But basically, if we have like a notes directory, right, and we'll make that some sort of environment variable, or just some way that VIM can easily locate it, we'll have a bunch of notes command that, like, to search, you just do it in there. To create, you'll just type in like the directory name and then your notes file name, which is going to be a markdown file. And, you know, to edit it, yeah, this will be really simple, right? To edit it, you'll just open it, I think. Yeah, I think this will work. This should work. Right. So, I'm going to start by, okay, I might go back into Vim, Vim grep. So, I wonder if there's a way that we can pre-specify this file. So, maybe error list. Alright, so maybe objective, so vim grep. Okay, let's make another file. Let me just move this out of the way. Make another file, and I'll call it words. Right. And you know, maybe I'll just give it some weird words that we can grep for. You have reached the words file. Alright, and if I go into design and I vim grep encyclo vim grep, and just like that, right? Vim grep okay, and maybe the word objective, because that was in the other file, so vim grep objective, so it'll take you there. So is there a way we can like cycle through these, and also a way where we have a little bit more control over that search? Or can we make our own command in which you have incremental search, like as you're typing it, so it'll take you to the first file immediately? And can you do that? And also, actually, I want to test this out with subdirectories to see if we have to do any magic stuff. So if I go into the subdirectory and what's a weird word in orange? Oh, I'll just go echo orange and put it into orange. Right, if I cat that design, and if I go vim grep orange, awesome. Right, so maybe now let's try something that's going to be in all of the files. So maybe if I go, what's the other one called? Words. Right, let's put the word in each thing. So echo in sub cat sub Yep. And we'll do the same thing here, except for design. And that's tail design. So we've got that in there. So if I vim design and vim grep in, now how do I cycle through these? And set the error list to the matches. So that's not telling me how to cycle through them though. Is there like a next or, you know, list, error list, error list, like that? Error. Messages. Maybe it's that one. Echo error message. Alright, so I'm trying at this point in time to see how to cycle through vim grep matches. Maybe if I just go back to vim grep and maybe if the word cycle, next, see next. Ooh. Okay. Okay, so there's see next and see previous. Now, is there a way to do like an absolute? So CC. So if I go CC8, yes. All right. So how can I? Okay. So yep, so what I'm thinking of doing, right, is mapping a few hotkeys to okay, so in each window we'll set a state to see if we're in a search, right, and then we'll have a command like, you know, notes in, right, and then that'll set us in the like mode where we can see all the matches. and maybe I'll just map N and Shift N into those things, right? And I might have maybe exit notes, right? And that'll do N and Shift N, which is, if you have in 1 and in 2, the way this works, if you add in N goes there and Shift N goes backwards. Or maybe if I add a third one, right, you'll see you go in, N and Shift N are bringing me back and forwards. So that's the shortcut I'm already used to. So if I go like nodes and then in, right, it'll cycle me through those, except it'll do through all of the pages. And you can see, right, I'll just use my mouse here, at the bottom of each window will always show you what file you're in, and I think that should suffice for most things. And yeah, I think that'll work. So I guess what's left to do is just kind of do it. Alright, so this shouldn't be too hard. Alright, so let's, or better, touch a file, and I'll call it notes.vim, maybe lowercase like that. And let's see, I'll start by making that command notes, which will call a function called enter notes. Enter notes, right? And then let me make that function enter notes. And let's have an end function. And then what I'll do is, right, so we want to make a window variable, because the window is like where we're going to be searching, right? We couldn't make a buffer variable because as we're cycling through the things, we're going to open up different files, and it's only going to work on the first file. So we're going to make a window variable. I'll just call it notes. Set that to 1. Command notes. Well, okay, what I'll start off by doing is there like an input function? Like in Python you have input. Let me see. I'll try doing that in, now let me switch this. Alright, so vim get, or we're looking for vim script get user input. Let's see, get line. Is that it? Get line with a string. Let's see. Okay, let me change this back to here, and alright, so let let's say line equals get line, get the line. Just like that. And maybe let's echo line. Alright, so if I source this and I go notes, hello. That didn't do anything. let's see, that's the way they did it in the example. Notes. No, they don't. Doesn't care about my input. Let's see. Get line input save. Surely that's not a default function by Win. By Vim, not Wim, Vim. Okay, Vim provides a function input. So let me just, gosh, I'm gonna have to map some hotkeys to this. Alright, so it says here, Vim provides the function input that can display a prompt, wait for the user to type it, type ahead mechanism. You first need to call input save, then input restore. Alright, I'll try that. So I'll go first of all into the terminal. I'll say call input the input. Call input save and call input restore. Oh, restore. God, I'm dumb. Okay, so let's let line equal that and echo line. So how am I going to run this? I'm going to source it and I'm going to call notes. Oh, didn't like that. Undefined variable call. Well, how else am I meant to make a variable? Oh gosh, I'm not amazing at Vim script, so just bear with me. Nope, definitely not that one. User input from a script, that's what we want. So what are we looking for again? How to get return value from function call Vim script. Is it just without the call? Is that what they did in the last one? Huh. Okay, that's really weird. Vim script needs to get their act together, because this is just strange. Alright, so we're getting rid of the call. Okay, save that and source it. Now if I do notes, the input, hello world. Now it's input. Okay, and it's echoed that back out again. Is there a way to clear? There should be a way to clear the thing we're looking at, right? So actually that shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter because we're not, yeah, we're not going to be printing stuff out. That's not going to be the output, right? So the input, maybe I'll just say search term or search I wonder if I could put an emoji in there. Just a random thought, might be fun. An me see. Emoji, oh my god. Emoji magnifying glass. See what we get. Emojipedia. Never heard of that. If that works, I won't be super surprised, but I'll be happy. Pasting it, nothing's coming up. Okay, maybe that doesn't work. Maybe we'll have to do the old style. Does that look like a magnifying glass? Or, oh, I wonder if I could use the degrees sign and and then I put a degree sign up here. It doesn't need an emoji for now though. Search. Which one do we like more? Capital letter, I think looks a bit nicer. So, line. Okay, so the function we want to execute, or the command, is vimgrep, and we want to put our line here, right? So we're going to execute vimgrep, and then put the line there. This, by the way, is concatenation in Vim. If you want to concatenate two strings, it's 2 dots. So vimgrep line, and then like that. So actually, I'm going to get rid of this G flag because I don't want it doing sort of 2 matches on the same line, because like they're already going to be able to see it. So I want them to have 1 match per line, and then the files. Right, so files, and I'd say let files equal, and I'll just use our current directory. So /notes star.md, just like that, and that should be enough for now. So all I have to do is source this, and I'll say notes search, and what was our magic word? In, right? And that's good. So if I echo, we're looking for window notes, that's a 1. So it's set that, and why is it? Okay. So what I'm going to do now, so I forgot what the Vim file is called. I don't need to remember. So now I'm going to do a mapping. Right, so it was C next. C next to go to the next match. C previous to go to the previous match. Okay, so C next. What we want to do is we want to map N, and normal, no recursion map. So we only want to map this for normal mode, which makes sense. N to, and I'll make this silent as well, to command C next, and we have to press enter for that, and then do the same thing here, previous, like that. And what I'll do, I want a way to exit out of this, right? Like I don't want to map N and shift N like that forever. I think ideally a better way of doing this might be to see if we can actually just get a list of all the files. Yeah, I think if we got a list of all the files and, like, you know, showed them something like this, and you had all of your files there, and you could just, you know, like and then how would I open a file like that? Will that work? I know you could, something like that. But you could just go through these, and in the other buffer, it would just, like, as you tab through them, it showed you a result, like what's actually in the file, and it jumps to your search term. Yeah, this definitely isn't easy. I don't think I want this N and Shift N. Like, maybe I might do this. I'll just map it, you know, to the leader key. So I'll go leader N, like that. And then I don't have to worry about any of that. And instead, you know, for me, I think my leader's backslash. So I can source this, and I can go notes, and, you know, maybe I'll call it note \n. That's all of them. So maybe I'll try again, except with the word in. Right. And that will do that search. I don't know, this is one of those things where it's just kind of hard to, you know, get a thing. It says, like, I wonder if there's a way we could get this incremental search to work where it actually searches Vim as you type each and every character. But I'm not sure how that would work. Right, because there's a lot of things that you know, will sort of affect this. And yeah, it's kind of hard to figure this out. It might be effective to try something else. I don't know. Like maybe this VIM grep isn't that much of a good idea. Or like I'll stick with this for now because it is working. But it's definitely not ideal. Like, you know, maybe I'd want something to be like // and then you start typing it. Like that would be hyper efficient. Because like a single / it's just in the file. Double / it's all of your notes. I wonder if there's like, instead of having to remap, there's like a search buffer map, so we're just like extending the normal search. So when we hit N and P, no, not N and P, N and capital N, it's just going through all those matches, but they just happen to be in separate buffers. Right, if I go notes, what? See, yeah, like it makes us save this file anyway, which is a good thing. So I wonder if there's some sort of way I could override that. See, it would be really nice to do this VIM grep, but somehow like put the names of the file before everything else. So then it would be really easy to sort of, like, you just put the command in there, and when you start searching, it'll search all those files incrementally, right? Because that's ideally what you want, right? If I go vim grep and then I start searching for orange, it's not going to work, right? Maybe if I go and then I go back, see, that doesn't work incrementally anyway. Maybe I'll just go through all of these commands to see. Can you make ranges of multiple files? That would be ideal. see, that's not what we want. Alright. Yeah, I don't know, this is quite sort of difficult. Maybe I might see if I can get the right idea from fcf.vim is a plugin that already exists, and it's kind of got the functionality that I already want, right? So let's see, doing that, it's got like this sort of incremental searching. Right, it's not too long, so it actually might be easier just to read and copy this stuff to see if it's got any good, you know, commands in there or anything that. So yeah, right, what's CPO? So those are the flags. Them start a bit. Alright. So okay, so it's got more functionality than this. So I wonder if I can find that somewhere. Okay. Alright, so what's this sfcf function? Yeah, this is a little bit out of the realm of what I wanted. I'm gonna go back to my old approach and just see if I can sort of make a cleaner interface around what the Vim grep that already exists. Alright, because to make a file, it's just like enum, and it doesn't have any completion there at the moment, right? So if I go oh, it does. So notes, sub, maybe note, and we can make it like that. I think that'll be good enough, right? Because like, you have to add in the note, you have to add in the .md suffix, but I don't think that's enough of a hassle to worry about. It's 3 characters, and yeah, like, if you wanted a different type of file, then whatever system we put in there that auto completes that would be a huge pain in the neck. So yeah, so I'm gonna write this, and I'm gonna keep that system the same. So I think the I think as long as you start Vim in, like, as long as you start Vim right in this directory, you'll have an easy way to edit any particular note. But if you want to search for a term, right, that's what we want to optimize for. So I want to what is it, notes? Yep. Okay, so another advantage of this that I didn't even think about is it's already looking in our notes directory, so we don't have to worry about any of that. I wonder if there's a way we can parameter. Actually, I'm just going to look it up in the Vim documentation. So is there a way we can make a command that takes in an argument? So if I go notes in, like, that would be the most efficient sort of way of doing this. So command attributes. Now what's rep? Replacement text. Command attributes. What's that? Are treated by them like any other commands. They can have arguments. Okay, good. Alright. So what we want is that. So I'm assuming that's an attribute. So we can just go nargs equals to 1. But how would we access that? Nargs equals to 1. And we've got this args template thing. So I want this to have a parameter which is called term, or maybe search term, and do it like that. So search term, and then we A because it's an argument, search term, and let's give that one a go. Okay, so I'm gonna first of all source this notes in. That doesn't seem right. Notes in. Invalid arguments. That doesn't seem right. Notes in, like that. Right. So maybe what I want to do is, I wonder if it will accept it like that. Notes in. Yeah, I really don't want to do that. As a string completion behavior. Oh, that would be awesome. Okay, I'm gonna bookmark that. So if I, yep. All right. So it's in the A register if we need to worry about it. Okay, so those are the files. We got our search term. So we want to do this without having to put quotes, because that's just not fun at all. So can we do anything other than say the number for the arguments? Arguments are considered to be separated by an unescaped spaces or tabs I don't want to use a variable, that's the thing. So I want this to be done in such a way that I don't have to put these quotation marks there. And this is not seeming to be very easy at all. So what have I put here? We're looking at commands. Argument. Argument handling. Is there a way I can tell it that I just don't want the quotes? I just don't understand why that doesn't work. It seems to be working here, like, you know, with this source command. Like, why doesn't that need quotes? Will result in none being echoed. I wonder maybe if there is some sort of command that will actually turn our arguments into a list of strings. Okay, for that, I'm gonna head to Google again. So how to convert to string with VIM command. VIM command convert to string. Yeah, it doesn't even work with echo. Why does it? Why does that work? Source notes to VIM. That works. That's surely there's some special flag I'm missing. Why don't you need quotes in source vim command for file name? Yeah, that doesn't seem to be working. Ooh, what if I be cheeky? What if I and then I'll go notes. What about this completion? Right. Like, why? Okay, so my logic in looking in completion is surely I wouldn't want you to complete for something you had to wrap in quotes. Right? Custom. Hey, yeah, how you going, man? Just working on a VIM plugin. Yeah. Anyway, so my problem at the moment is I can't seem to figure out why I can't get my little VIM plugin that I'm writing to have its arguments not wrapped in strings. Alright, so what I'm doing is it's searching your nodes, right, and say for the word orange, and it'll look for that, right, because I put that there, but it can't seem to, like, I can't go nodes orange like that. That won't work, and I can't seem to figure out why. That's the wrong window. Here we go. So I'm looking to see why I have to wrap the VIN thing in quotes. Alright, I can't seem to figure out why. Maybe. Yeah, this is really strange. Surely, like, there's some sort of flag I'm missing. Let me go back to the VIM documentation. Alright, so if I look for command, then it has to be here somewhere, right? Yeah. don't understand. Maybe it doesn't have to be the args. Maybe there's another thing that's not args, right? Like this little something that isn't this args placeholder. Maybe there's another placeholder that won't care if you don't have quotes. Like there's more of these placeholders, but I can't find where they are. Right, like if I go to args, ooh, that gave us something. Exactly as supplied. Okay, so quotes. Yeah, so this is what we want, f args. So that should solve our problem. F args, like that. So if I go notes, okay, I gotta source this. So if I go notes, orange. Okay, so that's, yeah, that's what we're looking for. Alright, cool. So that is giving us the basis of like being able to search our notes. Alright, but it doesn't have any completion yet. I don't know if that's, I think if I wanted to write a completion engine, I'd be doing that in C. And I think it might be a good idea. Like I have the time to do it right now. It's only 10:30 at night, which is basically like midday in my time. So maybe, yeah, maybe a completion engine. And it doesn't have to be complex at all, right? All I need to get it to do is to go through the files, right, and split up all the words. So it'll literally just look for white space, split up all the words, and it'll have a big list of words, right? So let me go back to the design doc. Design. Okay. So yeah, maybe let's say new feature completion. Right, so this should be a feature that makes a sorted list of all the words in every document. All the words in every document sorted. Right? Whoop. Okay, there's something wrong with my window. Oh, I made a tab. God, I'm dumb. Alright. This should be a feature that makes a sorted list of all the words in every document sorted. Makes a sorted list. I already said that. In every thingamabob. And yeah, let me get back to my terminal. A sorted list of all the words in the document when the user is using the plugin. They will, so when the user is using it, it will call the program to get a list of suitable words to complete the current statement. Alright, so all we need is a program. Oh yes, also when any of the notes are edited, it should, let's see, when any of the notes are edited, it should update the list. When any of the notes are edited, it should update the list and write the new list to the index file. The same should go for removing. The same should go for removing for any words that have been removed. Actually, I'm starting to see why this might be a problem. Right, so say you have an A file and a B file, right, and A says this is, well, these are some words and those people are dumb, right? If we removed R in here, the program would say, oh, we need to get R from the list, but it'll be in here, so we won't be able to search for the word R anymore. And I don't know if that's a good idea. And I don't think it'll be super efficient either to like have, you know, say here's our index, and make that a file, or maybe let's call it a dict, right? It's a dictionary, and it's probably best that this be case insensitive, and we'll get rid of that because they're not words. Okay, and sort that. So then we'll get rid of all the duplicates. This is what our program will be doing. So yeah, it'll say, oh, we don't need R anymore, so we'll get rid of that. So maybe we should just leave it in there. And maybe every now and then we'll have a manual command like notes remake or something where it'll remake that index, because we don't need it to be like, you know, 100% perfect all the time. Alright, I think just when you're adding it, it's really important that you get that down. But apart from that, like, that should do the trick. Yeah, so we'll get something that makes an index file of all the words. So yeah, let's start by doing that. So also, I'll just say index sorted, wherever I got that, sorted case insensitive. That's important as well. You don't want to be restricted by case. And I'm going to count a word in this program, or in this, you know, little plugin, whatever you call it, as a sequence of letters, right? So no spaces, no hyphens, none of that. Yeah, I just think that because like this is all going to be written in prose, and you know, when you've got sequences like this, you don't want to worry about things, like you're thinking in terms of words, right? So that's how you want the program to work. Alright, so I am now going to what am I doing now? Alright, I'm making that program. So we need it to get all the words. So I'm going to remove all the MD files and remove this subdirectory. So all we've got is our notes.vim plugin. And I'm going to make a makefile. And index notes is going to be the name of our binary, and let's call a program index notes.c for simplicity. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Okay, I did write something in my VimRC to deal with this, but it doesn't seem to want to work properly. So enter, I'll just get rid of that, and I thought it was working. Okay, so I'm going to make index notes.c, and I'm going to need std.io, and probably std.lib. And I'm going to print maybe here is the notes program. Okay, so I'm going to make a binary index notes sources index notes.c, and I think we'll make a binder and an object directory, bin object. Okay, so I'll start off with the binder and rules, which is just going to be to make dir for each of those, and then I'll work my way up. So to make an O file, we need the corresponding C file, and we need that the object directory be made before anything, and then let's make a C compile. C flags. Okay, so let's use GCC, C flags, and I'm gonna need some other stuff eventually, but for now this should do. Okay, C flags. Okay, so we're going to do compile C, and we're going to have an output file. And we'll give it our source file. Binary. So we should have sources, except we should replace that with object and then the corresponding .o file inside object.dir. And this should be as simple as cc the linker flags, and then just like that. So we'll give it all our things. Now all should be binary, and clean should be, so rm get rid of the binder because I don't really want that. Binary, object directory, and what else? Well, that should be everything to clean. Here's the notes program, good. Alright, so finally we've got something set up. Now we've got, you know, a little augmented hello world program. And now we need to get all the files. So I'm trying to think. We should have alright, so maybe like a good way to use this. So I'll just make a document here, index notes, brief, program, then indexes all the terms that may need to be completed in the VIM plugin for auto complete for our notes grep program. Okay, that's sort of the basics of it. Now let's see. I think the easiest way for this to work is like to just get something working would be, right, maybe I'll put here example find dot index notes, right, and then we'll give it an output which is like maybe notes dot index. Right, and that's a really simple program. And if you don't have the find, you can just enter the things manually. But yeah, it takes in the files from standard in, or actually no, we'll just have it at standard in for now. So indexes all the autocomplete terms for our VIM plugin. Okay, makes a sorted list of all the terms that could need to be makes a sorted list of all the terms that could need of all the words in every file in the notes directory recursively. Can be used to complete when searching for a term in all the notes. Alright, so that's a simple enough explanation of how this actually works. I do want to outsource most of the functionality to a little library that we can actually test, because I think it's going to make things a lot easier if we have separate functions that each have their own test. So maybe I'll start by going into Unity, which is a testing framework, and I'll make a builder, cd into that, install, so install it in just right here, the Unity extension fixture on, so this will compile Unity. So if I just make install, okay, so those are all our files. And go back into, did I call it notes? What did I call it? So back into Unity. Oh, notes like that, right? And I'll just copy from Unity build install here, and call it Unity, and I'll add it to makefile. So in terms of compiling, I'll say include flags, maybe flags equals add prefix. Now we want to include the current directory and Unity include Unity. So we want to include those directories. And what else? Oh, yeah, we want to link. So actually we need to do that in LD flags. So we'll have a search directory, which we'll put in LD flags. So how do I do this? We'll say LD flags. For now it's just going to be add prefix. Yeah, that's our search directory. Dot and Unity lib, I think it is. Yep. And then that'll add that. Now I'm gonna have library, maybe lib flags, right? Add prefix, and we'll have Unity, which is our testing framework. Okay. So the reason I put these in two separate variables and not just put it all into one is we want to have lib flags to be separate. So we want to say over here is where we put like all of the references to where the libraries should be. So all of the, in the current directory and unity/lib, right? We're telling the compiler that's where the libraries should be. And here we're saying what the libraries are, because for some reason, like the C compilers like GCC and Clang care about the order that this goes in. So yeah, it'll look at these like one at a time. It'll look at that, and then it'll look at the libraries, which we want to put at the end. So the more you know, I guess. So to link, just do that. The library flags there. And if we wanted, we could go libraries, Unity, and libraries, just like that. All right. Okay. So I'm getting pretty tired now, but I think if we complete this completion program, that should be it for the day. So index notes. Alright, so what we want to do actually is we want to move the logic of actually compiling the index list into a separate library, because that's going to be a lot easier to test, and I feel like that's going to be the harder part of doing this and like parsing the strings and everything. Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot easier to sort of just like work this way. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm getting really tight. Okay, so index nodes. So that's not what we want. Again, okay. I'll start with a makefile. Can't go wrong there. So let's see. So our sources. Okay, so tests should have, or test even. So I'll make a thing called tests, and that'll be anything that ends with underscore test.c. Alright, and while I'm at it, I think this should be an underscore, just a matter of preference. So test.c, and Yeah, so that'll make all our tests. And test objects is tests with test.c being substituted with test.o. So test objects so let's see. So I'm going to make a test runner.c, and actually I'm going to have a test runner.o, right? And that's just going to be compiled implicitly from the test runner.c. So I'm going to make that, and then I should need is, it should just be as simple as compiling with the linker flags and let's see, compiling with the linker flags with the output of our test thing, and input all our object files. So testrunner.o should actually be in the object directory, and that will get compiled with this, which I'm happy with. Okay, so move index notes.c to index notes, like that. Alright, so it should be as simple as make, and so actually if I make test, so there shouldn't be a main function, so if I go vim test runner, so I'll include unity and unity fixture. Now that we should have a test group, and that group, no, we don't want to make a test group. We're just going to have a void run all tests, which will be void, and then we'll say run test group, whatever, right? So main and all I'll do for this is return unity main argc argv and run all tests, our function. So that should at least compile, right? It might even link. Okay, so we need to make what are we going to call it? Index test, or I don't know, we need to parse it and index it. Right, so maybe I'll make a parse file along with the test and index file along with a test. Okay, so index nodes, index okay, let's just overcomplicate this make file a bit. So to make a D file, let's make a dependency directory. And to make the dependency file, you need a corresponding C file. And it's just compile.c. Oh, and it's like M. It's like, okay, you need the file, right? But there's some other flag that makes it really good. And you need the C file. And I'm just gonna it's something, mmd. Yeah, mmd and mf. Okay, so this is getting quite a bit more complicated, and that's okay. Why doesn't it like that? Why was it doing that? Oh, I spelled it wrong. Okay, what's going on here? No such file or directory. Right. Okay, so we need to actually, it's probably not liking that we haven't made the dependency directory. Okay. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually include the dependency files in here. I'm just going to say wildcard 10 .dep files. And that's going to be sources, and we're going to replace that with adapter Alright, gee, this is a lot of work. Alright, so okay, why are we getting top level O files? Right, it should only be doing that really for tests. Is that what we're doing there? Okay, so let's organize this a bit more. Okay. Oh, so it's from I wonder then make file, so I'm just searching this up, but make file no. See, we have two targets from that we want to make with one command. That shouldn't be right. How do we do this the easiest way? Now, can we get it to not look at the object files, like to not make the object files when we're doing when we're building the dependency files, because that would be the easiest way out of this. You see, we only want to output our thingo, what do you call it? We only want it to output the dependency file, nothing more. Yeah, I don't know. How does this work? Okay, maybe quick search. GCC only show GCC output only dependency.d files. No.o files. What does this MF option do? Maybe that's the key to it. What does just the capital M do then? Okay, I'll try that. So, to make the D file, okay, so that's put the O files in the right place, I guess. Here's the notes program. If we make test, in function main, it hasn't, right. Doesn't think Unity main exists, which is a little bit alarming. Yeah, it's not linking Unity, so maybe I have to put the flags there. Okay, so yeah, that works. And then if I in test runner and let's say run test group, pass, because that's C include Unity fixture. Okay, and then we'll have test group pass, and then test case, no, it's just test, I think, pass, and then I don't know, passes empty string, which might be a good first test, and then test group runner pass, and then let's say run test case pass. Oh, that's wrong. Just like that. Test ignore not implemented. Okay, so now if we make test,